Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So if we go to dart.dev, dart.dev is the like flutter.dev for Flutter and its documentation, the updates, the new things. Similarly for Dart, you can find in dart.dev. Okay, so as you can see here, the current version is Dart 2.18. Okay, and they have interoperability with Objective C and Swift and so on. Okay, anyway, so we can go to docs. Okay, the docs, and you can go to the language itself to have a quick review of the language. So go to tour. Okay, so a tour of Dart language. So as I mentioned in the first class, it is advisable to go through this page, and you can go very quickly actually, because most of the things are very much similar, like C, Java, C++, most of the things. So for example, the types, num where is like any type. If you don't know what should be the type, you can write var or variable. But if you want, particularly, there is int, there is also num also. But there, particularly, we can have int, we can have double, we can have string for character string, and so on. So it's like Java. Then you can go, and also we have booleans, uh, booleans, by bool, true and false. Okay, the bool variable. So it's same as the other things. Mainly you need to know how the lists, because in a lot of UI, you will get the input or the data as a list is same as array, like whatever we call array in Java or C or C++ is same as list. So, and it's very powerful. In C or C++, you have to do a lot of manual things, but here a lot of default codes are already there. So list int means it's a list of int, it's an array of integers. You can have list of double, list of string, list of map. So list and set is also good, but set we don't use much. But list and maps, oh, map is so useful. Map is same as, I don't know, in C or Java, I don't think there is an equivalent thing of maps. But if you know Python, in Python there is a equivalent. I think it's called a dictionary. The data structure dictionary is same as map. It's similar like JSON. The JSON structure, it's very much similar like using maps. A lot of several maps are joined together, like in JSON. So you should be like very good in understanding how to use map variables. Map is like, as you say, it's mapping between two values, between key and value. So it's a set, you can say it's a list or set of like several key value pairs. And the key and value can be, one value can be string, another value can be int, another value can be double. So key value pair, the key is key should be string, like first, second, third, fourth, like any key you can give. Value can be anything. So this is called map. So map is a very, very useful data structure. And for example, when you make a query of database, inshallah we will study database tomorrow to see how you can use database in a Flutter project. So if you use like database and make a query, SQL query, it will return as a list of maps. It will return as a list of each row of the table will be returned as a map. So map, understanding the map variable is very important. And then you can go and see how functions are treated in Dart. There are like some shortcut that are used in Dart. Like if you have like only one line of code in the function, sometimes the function has only one line of code, then you can use this kind of shortcut. But if you don't want, okay, just go with the C or Java way of writing functions with the bracket like this one, like this is the traditional one. The return type, the name, the parameters, and with the two brackets inside it, you write the code for the function. So if you just use it, no problem, just fine. But Dart provides some sort of shortcut or quick way of writing functions. So one of the way is like this one, like with an arrow sign, the code of one line code. So if the function has only one line of code, then you can do this kind of thing. Okay. And then you need to know about like how parameters are passed to the function. Like what is the meaning of this question means this value can be null also. There is and what is the meaning of having brackets around the parameters. Okay. So this means they are optional, so you can give them, you can skip them, but they should be named. In that case, they should be named. So like here, you have to specifically mention that bold is true, hidden is false, like, because you can skip some of them. When you skip some of them, then that means you need to particularly mention which value is for what. So these kind of things may be unfamiliar to you, but I think these are also common in some other languages. But C, I don't think C has this feature, and maybe also Java. I don't know. For a long time, I don't use Java. So anyway, so then you can uh, move to operators, which is almost same as Java, C, and so on. So it's similar, and the question of if else is in the control flow, because we call them control structures: if else, while loop, for loop. So it's actually exactly same as C or Java. The way they write it, it's very much similar. How they write if else. So if else construct, for loop is same as C. In C we write it like this: I equal to 0, semicolon, I less than something, I plus plus. Same structure of C and Java. The way we write there, we write it here. Similarly, there is a while and do while. It's also same as things. There is a break command and continue, which is same as C. So it's the same meaning. And there is also switch and case. Switch and case, this is also useful, but you can implement this same thing by using if else. It's same as if else, but if you use switch, it looks like nicer. It looks nicer. Okay. So it's also available in Dart switch. So this structure, assert is used for catching errors, but in for now you can skip them. Exceptions, throw and catch, like what we have in Java, like exceptions, catching the error. So this is also possible. Try catch. It's the concept of Java, right? Java we have try and catch. So you can use them here also, but for now you can. The good thing of Flutter is I really enjoy that in Flutter the app doesn't hang. It's a very interesting thing that Google has done. Like if even if your app makes an like an exception means there is a like runtime exception during when the app runs. What Flutter does is it shows a like gray semi-transparent screen when there is an exception. But it will not make the app crash. That's a very powerful thing of working with. Like sometimes you have seen when I was doing some code, a couple of times you saw the red screen, right? Red screen is very common when there is an exception happens, error happens. Flutter draws the red screen with some messages, but this is for development time. But when you release the production version, then it doesn't show the red screen. It shows a semi-transparent gray screen. So when you receive that screen, you know that there is a bug actually, or there is an error case, but it will not make the app crash. That's a very interesting thing. So even if you, why I'm saying is that even if you don't catch the bug actually or error, the Flutter framework on the background, it catches it, and that saves your app from crashing. So that's a very interesting thing that they have done in Flutter. So you can skip those things. And classes are similar, like in Java, how to write classes, how to write the functions inside the class and so on. These are similar like this. So you can go through quickly. Okay, on generics, for now, yeah, for now you can skip these things, abstract classes and so on, this thing. Okay, but one of the things that I told you in the previous class is session is the concept of uh, asynchronous. That's very important thing. That concept is very important for Flutter, because almost every time you will need to use async with await. So I told you to go through like this one, asynchronous programming, future, async, await. So this concept is like very fundamental concept, and this is mainly needed for mobile programming. If you just do desktop programming on black screen, you don't need them. But if you are doing mobile programming, smartphone programming, then this concept is very actually you can say essential. Why? For example, if the user suppose presses submit, he is filling a form, then he press submit. Now when he press submit, what you do, you give him a message that okay, we are processing your request. Now on the background, maybe you do something, you send some data to the server, you get a reply. It may take few seconds, and after you get the reply, because there is no guarantee how much seconds it will take, so whenever you get the reply, then you need to update or give feedback to the user that you have received the, or you have completed the function. So that is only possible if you use asynchronous programming, or like based on, for example, registering callbacks, also part of it, which we will see today, inshallah. So I explained like quickly in the previous lecture about future, async, and await. But I strongly suggest that you go through these examples, and you can try. You can also run the code here on the console. There is also, for practicing Dart, there is also Dart pad. There is also Dart pad, as you can see here. This is also very good. So you can try different language features here, and just run it without installing any SDK from your browser. Dartpad.dev. Dartpad.dev. Like here, it's just printing 5 hello. So if you just run it, it will put output here, and you can you can do it here. Like you can write your own code for int j equal to 0, j is less than 10, j plus plus, and we can print here dollar I dollar j. Dollar means if you are dollar is a like sort of directives which is used inside the string. Inside the string, if you need a value of a variable, because if you don't put dollar, j is considered as a character. J is considered as a character. But if I put a dollar before j, then Dart will consider j not as a character but the name of a variable, and he will try to get the value of the variable and put it there. So this is a shortcut of getting the string value of a variable. Okay, so if you run it, so you can see here the output changes. We are putting 5 into 10, 50 outputs will be there, because for each of them we are running 10 times, so 50 outputs are there. So anyway, so you can try Dartpad, write code here, see how it comes, small code. So this is a like a practice area to practice the language features. So you can do it. Also sometimes Google provides this kind of like inline, what you can say, inline running code, and you can also use them directly. So go through these slides, not slides, go through this page. They will give you good idea about await, async, and future, and how to, what is the different behavior. So they will explain. Any question from this part?
I have a question.
Yes.
When we call a function, can we actually print any function, or it depends on the function itself?
When we call a function,
Yeah. For example, when you print a function.
print a function.
Yeah. So what happens when you print a function?
When you print a function, print a function.
Any
Okay.
function.
Okay. So okay,
Because
let's
maybe
try.
some functions won't work in print.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say int my function. Okay, it does nothing but prints something called test. Okay, what does it say? Oh, so we didn't return anything. Return 0. That's a function, and let's write another function, void my print function, which takes a function as an input. Okay, and let's try to print it. Print fnc. Okay, and from main, let's just call the my int function and give him my function as a parameter. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now run it. Okay, so this is what you get. Closure my functions. Just there. Because function is not something to be printed. Is it the question that you asked?
Yeah. So printing a function will work only with text and numbers, right?
Yes, actually, like there is no meaning of printing a function. Like why you would want to print a function? So basically, anything that contains data.
Oh, I just wanted to know the possibilities.
Yeah, like
Output, print output.
yeah, like printing the outputs, or like you processed some data and you want to make sure that the processing is correct, you didn't make a mistake in the algorithm. Then after you finish the algorithm, you print the variables. That's good. That's good. But I don't know whether there is any benefit of printing function. I don't know. Maybe sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it might be good to know whether you are really getting a function as input. That may be one use, but it might be very rare. It might be very rare.
Maybe the output of the function is text or a number.
Yeah, yes, yeah. What you can do is like you catch you for example you uh, var output, then you call function. Suppose say let's this function takes an int a and it returns a square. It's a square function. So you send him 10, or you print the output of function. Now you can get the result. Like it should print 100. Yeah, it should get it will print 100 because it's printing the output of the function called that you received as a parameter. So I don't know in Java or C. I don't, as far as remember, they don't take function as an input. But yes, in Dart you can, and this is a very powerful feature actually, very powerful. As I showed you in the previous class, that you can pass callback from parent to child, so the child can call the parent and refresh him. Although this is not like natural, but it solves a lot of problems. That's why Dart provides this feature. Okay. Any other thing to discuss here? Any question?
I have an issue with my drawer. I added a drawer header and then after that a child. So the error message is I'm missing widget. Do you have to add the widget next to the child or the drawer itself?
I didn't get the point. Can you repeat, please?
I get an error after I
Yes.
created a drawer.
Okay.
It says I'm missing widgets. I have to type a widget, but I don't know where to type the widget.
Okay. Maybe we can, if we can see the error, the description, maybe it might be clear. So maybe you need to return the widget, or add the widget parameter. In any case, we can see, you can send me the personally, you can send me the error. Maybe I can help you in debugging it, inshallah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so this is what we covered actually already, but it's a recap of what we have done. So as I mentioned, it's very much, or I strongly recommend to review the Dart language if you haven't done it. That will make your like understanding stronger, and inshallah it will not take much time. If you just spend 2 hours maybe and review the language tool, that will be enough, inshallah. Okay, now let's go back to our code and try to run it. So today what I will do is I will show you first how to use fonts. Like if you have a particular font, not all fonts are available in iOS or Windows or Android. So if you have a customized font, then how can you use it? So there is one way is to use Google Fonts. Like if you go to browser and if you search Google Fonts for Flutter, so there is a package called Google Fonts. Okay, and this is from material.io. This is the group that maintain the the material specification. So it's one of the favorite packages and available for all the platforms except for no, Windows is also there. Yeah, all of them are there: Android, iOS, Linux, macOS, web, Windows. Okay, and this one is one of the good packages, and they have, I think, more than 1,000 fonts. They mentioned it somewhere. If you read their description, so they use all the fonts which are available in fonts.google.com. So in fonts.google.com, you see there are so many fonts. So if you want to use one of them in your system, then one of the way is to use the package called Google Fonts, and you need to add it to the pub.yaml, pubspec.yaml, and then you import this Dart file, and then it's very simple. So okay, let's show you quickly how to use it. So this is our package name. So you can just copy it from here. And go to this YAML file. As I mentioned, that anytime you want to use any packages which is not directly part of the Flutter original download, it's not available, then you can just put it here under dependencies. You can put it like this. By the way, remember that space in this YAML format, space is very important. So if you give a space, it will give you error. So see here, like it's giving error, like just giving a space. So so if you get errors in the YAML file, and it shows that, like if you try to get now, see here it gave an error. Mapping values are not allowed here. Did you miss a colon earlier? Like he's giving a different error, but error is actually because we gave an extra space here. So if you remove the space, if you get it, the error is gone. So be careful about space. Be careful about space inside YAML file. It's a common mistake. Okay, so we got the Google Fonts. We got the Google Fonts, and now using Google Fonts is so easy, so easy. So let's see our screen. Do we have? Okay, we have the account username. Okay, great. So let's go to this class that we made before. So this is, I think, cart home settings, user account. Okay, so it was a stateless widget where we had like an icon. We had an icon, and then we put a size box for like sort of 20 pixel, like space between icon button and the text. Now fonts are used for text. Fonts are used for text. So if you don't mention anything, just write text and in the bracket the string, then what Flutter will do, it will use the system default font, the default font size, font space, the default settings. The font size, by the way, this is very important feature to remember about text. The font size actually depends on how the user set their font size in the font. For example, if you want to change the font size, the font itself, then there is something called style. You have to give the style property, and style takes text style. You need to give him text style. So if you want to change the font, color, all of them, then you need to give him a style property. Text style. Text style takes many parameters: color, background color, font size, font weight, font style, all of them. Font style is the font itself. Is the font itself. Font weight is whether you want bold, italic, so on. Font size is the size. So for example, if I say font size, say 16, you can see here the size will increase because the default font size is 14. 14 size is the default font size in Material app. So if you don't mention anything, then Flutter will draw the text in size 14 points. Now this 14 points is not fixed. It varies between screen to screen, and it varies between system set size. Like you know that in phone setting, not in the app, from the phone, there is a setting to change the font size. If you set the font size there, it will affect the font size here automatically. And the parameter for that is called, I will show you here. That's called text. No, not in the side. I think not here. Text scale. Text scale factor. Yes, this one. This is, it's part of the main class text. That's text scale factor. This is the one which controls the actual value of font 16. By default, it is 1. By default, it is 1. If you don't mention, it will try to take 1. But this can be more than 1 depending upon the font size user selected in the system, not in your app, in the system. That means from his font setting. So it might get bigger. So if you want to use exact 16 size, make this text scale factor to set it to 1. Set it to 1. So that's a important thing to know. But our interest is not here. Our interest is inside textile. Okay, so we make it 16, and we want to make it font weight, say font weight dot bold, and see here it became bold. Now we want to change the font itself. So there is called font family. Font family. Font family parameter is the parameter that you need to set to. Okay, maybe I need to make a little bit zoom here to see. Okay. So this parameter here, you give him what font you like. So we are using what? We are using the Google Fonts. So you need to import the Google Fonts package. So we just copy this line. Either you can type or you can copy and put it in the import. So we imported Google Fonts. Okay. Now under the text style, now you can use the different fonts supported by Google. So you can use like directly as a style Google Fonts.lato. Google Fonts.get font lato. This is another way. Okay. Now I will show you back. Let's go back here. So if we use this one, Google Fonts.lato. So what happened? Oh, I think. Oh, sorry. We need to remove this constant. Okay. We may need to restart the program because we added a new package, but let's try. Okay. So yeah, we need to restart because it says missing plugin exception, no implementation found for method, whatever this. So this is actually because we added the package, but we did not recompile it. So in that case, just stop it and recompile. Okay. So anytime you see errors, first try easy things like restarting the program, recompiling the program, clearing the Flutter cache. There is a command called Flutter clean from the tools. There is a command called Flutter clean. This one will clean the build folder here and some of the temporary folders. So this is also like a common way of solving some of the problems, not all. Anyway, so let's go to account. Okay. Now see it's in Lato font. So if we try to use a different font, so you can see here there are so many fonts available as part of the system. So I'm trying to get a very strange font. Okay. Say what are the fonts? Okay, let's try from here. Some font that looks distinctively different. This is a quite different font. Okay, now if this will take the font and its default style, but inside it you can change the style. Like you can see here, if you want to change the style, they have a parameter called text style. Parameter called text style. If you run it, see here it changed. If you say font size 22, see here it's changed. Okay, so this is how you can use fonts from Google Fonts package, but it may not have the font that you want. That's the question. That's the point. That it might not have, or you have your own font. Especially, for example, for Arabic, you want to show a particular font, and the font is not. You have the font file, the TTF file. So how can you use that? So this is what we are going to show you, inshallah, now. So to do that, you need to go back again to pubspec.yml. You have to go back again. Do you understand what we are doing, trying to do? We want to use a font here for a text where we have the font file. We have the font file, and we want to use it in the app. So to do that, again, you need to go back again. First, you need to tell Flutter that I have a resource font, and tell him where to find the file. So again, come here. Like, remember, under the Flutter, we used assets. In the last class, we used this asset to draw these pictures. These pictures were part of the asset folder. Similarly, if you see here, if you want to use fonts, you need to use this format. Okay, so you need to remove the comment. You tell that what fonts you have specifically for this this app, for your app. So it takes two parameters. One is the font family. Font family, like you can have several font under the same type, like Tahoe, Tahoma, or Helvetica. They have Helvetica bold, Helvetica normal, Helvetica italic, like this. So you can give it's a name of the font, you can say. So you can say it's a font family. Suppose we say we give our own name, our font, and then we say we have which fonts we have, and mention there, like under that family, what fonts we have, the font file itself. Just give him the location. Give him the location. Where is the asset? So you say asset, and here you mention where is the font. Okay, so let's go and create a font directory. Let's go there, our project folder. In the previous class, we created our asset folder. Where is the asset? Oh, not asset, images folder. So similarly, we create a folder called no, not here. Under the main one, new folder called fonts. Okay, fonts. So let me copy a font. This is the font actually. This SF Arabic is the font used in iPhone. iPhone uses this font. They designed this font, SF Arabic. SF is the San Francisco. San Francisco is a font name used in iPhone, and they designed a few months before they designed for Arabic a very beautiful font that's called SF Arabic. If you have the newer update of iOS, you have the font already. It's almost a year old, not a year, less than a year. So let's try to use this one. I copied this file to fonts folder, and I mentioned that I have an asset which is under fonts, and the file name is SF Arabic .ttf, right? It was SF Arabic .ttf, right? SF Arabic .ttf. Okay. Now again, you need to stop it and rerun it. Great. So the font is now part of the system, part of your app. Now you can go back to this same class and this same text. So we go our user account class and we say, okay, we are not going to use Google style. We are going to use our own style. So we say with text style, and it is called font family. Now in this font family, we say font family. Oh, here we say SF. Oh no, not SF. We say the font family. What is the name we gave? Our font. Say constant. Okay. You can see here the font changed. If you try to give other names, no, it's not working. Yeah. Can you see the difference of the font? You will see. Say size, font size, 22. Then you can see. Like look at the font, and look at the font if we don't use our font. See the difference. Two types of fonts. Okay. To best, we'll make it this is default font. This is our font. Tell him font family is our font. Let's see the spelling. Our font. Okay. Now if you run it, you can see it's close, but there is a small difference. English is close, but you You can see, let's make it 32. You can see there is the two fonts are actually different. It's close, but the font structure is little different than here. So if we can show it in Arabic, it will be very clear. Okay, I will put an Arabic text here. We'll take a break now for Salat, and inshallah after come back I will show you the difference in Arabic, inshallah. So we'll stop sharing, stop recording.